Hi, welcome back to the Boy Time channel. Today, it's our first new format video. If
What?
you don't know what we're talking about, we have a channel update. Watch that. But the top line is no more reactions. We're just going to be talking about albums now, which should fit our schedules a lot better. And I feel like we'll have a lot more in depth conversations about things, which is kind of what I've been wanting. So reactions get
Sure.
kind of stale. You got a lot to think about when you hear a song once and you got to talk about it. So this is our new format going forward. There's more details in the channel update. But the first thing we're doing here is my first pick. So we're doing Talk Talk's 1986 album, The Color of Spring.
Mm.
We have some formatting things, which we'll go through. But context wise, this is their 1986 album. It's their third studio album. And this marks a big change within the group. They were known as kind of a synth pop. Their label branded them as a Duran Duran kind of copycat band almost. They're trying to do that. But with this album, they got a new producer and they were like, get the synths out of here. Mark Hollis was like, I hate synthesizers and I wish they never existed. They used it purely as a budget thing. So now they got money
Oh,
and they wanted to go organic with it. So this is seen as a bridge between their first half of their career with the synth pop stuff and then the last half of their career with their invention of this kind of post rocky sound that is kind of bubbling up. So this falls right in the middle. And I chose this
that,
because we did Genesis's Invisible Touch, which was 86. And then we just did Graceland on the podcast channel. You can go listen to that, which is also
yeah.
86. So I thought I'd throw this in the ring. But
Why not?
yeah. What was your first listening experience like?
My first listening experience, I think, and so I'll do another thing. This is linking back to when we did our D'Angelo
Mhm.
thing on the podcast, where I was just listening to it every day. And that was kind of the routine I got for this one, except I did it for longer. I think I did it
Okay.
for a week and a half. Um, and I gotta say, I really, really liked it.
Good.
I think off rip, um, I was like, I didn't really know what to expect.
Mhm.
When you brought it up, you were like, well, we just did Genesis. And so we're going to do this thing. It's from the 80s. And so, like, kind of going into it, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. Because I've gone on record and said like I think that the 80s is like the worst decade for music
Mhm.
maybe ever. That and like the early 2010s. But I just detest the kind of like the bright, it's like
Yep.
plasticky kind of production on everything. I'm like so over that. But this was like really, really nice in that it is kind of like what you were saying, where there are like the real instruments, like the drums are so punchy
Mhm.
and like it's like really, really well produced. Where everything just sounds crisp and clear. The bass is going hard
It's
on
so
this.
good.
It's so G dang good. There's like some songs where it's like really, really chunky, and I
Mhm.
love that. Um, but I gotta say, I don't know what the main vocal guy's name is.
Mark
Um,
Hollis.
Mark Hollis, you just said that. Um, he was giving me at first, I'm like, this kind of sounds like the Tears for Fears guy.
Yeah, almost.
But then I had another realization, and I swear I like this guy's voice, but I realized that he sounds very similar to William Hung. Do you know that?
No.
Okay. I think that was during our time, but we were like little kids. It's an
Mhm.
American Idol reference.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the most famous like bad audition on American Idol is this guy named William Hung, who sang My Girl by the Temptations,
Mm.
but they have like really similar vocal quality and that they're doing like this nasal thing and then also projecting like way out of the
Mhm.
back of their throat. That's like classic 80s stuff. But as soon as that was like in my head, I couldn't unhear William Hung every single time I was listening to this album. And so I'm like, I do like this guy's voice.
Mhm.
I think that it fits the music perfectly, but it did kind of throw me off once I made that connection. But that's just mine. That's my fault.
Yeah,
I should never think of American Idol.
it's weird because like they're transitioning instrumentally into like actual instruments and like very organic things. His voice is also in a transition between the belted out synth pop of the 80s where you just need like anthemic choruses and like
Yeah.
this really amazing vocal range that he gets on the last two albums. So he's like in a weird place here because he kind of knows what he wants to do and he kind of doesn't. Like there's a couple songs on here where he's like a little bit too loud for what should be happening, but I don't know. There's something about his voice that's just very sincere. So it's like even if he's not hitting it perfect, I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I first listened to Talk Talk like 3.5 years ago with Spirit of Eden because I was doing a post rock deep dive and I obviously need to hit those. And I found that to be a good album and Laughing Stock as well. But like I used it mostly as like sleep music because it was very chill. And then eventually I got to this thing and I was like, okay, this is some cool 80s pop. But I think over the past year and a half, like all of these have grown on me so much. Like this is incredible 80s pop to me. Laughing Stock's my favorite album ever. We'll probably do it eventually here.
Sure.
Ever. But yeah,
Wow.
it's incredible. But we'll get to that eventually. So yeah, really got into this thing this year specifically, just diving into this one just because I'm like, I'm getting a little bit more okay with 80s pop. Like usually it's like a no, get this out of here. But I think it's like a fighting against the usual star-studded production and just like plasticky, glitzy stuff where it's like he was listening to classical composers and getting inspiration from that to like, let's bring in an organ, let's bring in these kind of things and just make it really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah. Best tracks.
Okay, yeah, my favorite tracks. Honestly, like most of these are pretty G dang good, but I think like my favorites might be I Don't Believe in You. That might be number one. And then it's probably Happiness is Easy.
Okay.
But what I gotta say about Happiness is Easy is that like it really threw me off. Like, because I only noticed recently that there's a children's choir in it.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how it took me that long to notice that, but it was like a couple days ago I noticed it. And that was like the first time I realized that it was British.
Yes.
And again, I should have noticed because the color of spring is
The
spelled the
U.
British way.
Yeah.
So again, should have noticed that way before I did. But then I was like, wait, this reminds me too much of The Wall. Another brick in the wall because it's like a bunch of like British children screaming at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's giving me those vibes. But I do like the song a lot. And I also really, really like I Don't Believe in You. Just because that is like that grand kind of 80s stuff. But it like works so well. That one reminded me more of like the Tears for Fears
Yeah.
songs that I love. So yeah, probably just those first two are like the peaks, but I think it's pretty consistent all the way through.
Yeah, I had I Don't Believe You in You as well. That bass line is just phenomenal. Like it's so funky and just like in your face and I love it. I think April 5th is another one that I absolutely love. That's a very quiet, drawn out one.
Here she comes, laughter and her kiss.
They haven't perfected that sound yet. They'll perfect it on the next album, but they're getting there, and that song is just absolutely gorgeous. Steve Winwood plays on this album a lot, which is like insane that they got Steve Winwood in here. But it just goes over so well. Like his vocals are incredible over the softer production, and I think like track list wise, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, I Don't Believe in You is fantastic. They have a sequel of that on the next album, I Believe in You. Completely different song,
Oh,
just as good in a completely different way. But my favorite on the album is Time It's Time, the outro. It was my favorite song when I first heard it 3 years ago, and it's still my favorite now. It's just absolutely incredible. It sounds like the album cover. It's just like this very open and free flowing track. I feel like his vocals are the best on this track too. After Chameleon Day, where he was like belting a little bit too hard for how quiet that song was, comes in at
Yeah.
time it's time, and it's like it's perfect. Like that's what you need. But yeah, just the opening up of like the recorders or whatever, the freaking solo with the flutes on the outro of that song is just incredible. Very good vibes going into records that are not as good vibes next, but yeah, very, very, very good. Okay, any worst tracks?
Yeah, I was actually surprised to hear that you really liked April 5th because that was going to
Yeah,
be one of
I
mine.
assume so.
I did not like that one. That's probably like second worst because
Okay.
I don't like Chameleon Day at all. I think that song might be just downright terrible. I don't know. Like I've listened through it like so many times and like really trying to like, is there anything that I like about it? And no, not really. It's like gotten to the point now where I just skip it. But yeah, I think like for this album, and I don't know, without the context of anything else that they've done, for like this specific sound, I loved the like really like overproduced almost, but like not. But I love those big bombastic sounds, which I never would have thought that I would say. But I think that for what they're doing here, it like fits them way more.
Yeah.
To like slow it down, it kind of like kills the pacing for me. Where I'm like, man, if it was just like pedal to the metal, all of these like really, really great, like big 80s pop songs, like I really would have loved that. But I think that those two songs just kind of trip me up a little bit.
Yeah,
But that's
I think that's like as they were experimenting towards like this new thing that they were brewing up for the next album, these two kind of like slid in here and they're like almost there, but they're not quite. I think Chameleon Day like is obviously the worst song here just because like it has potential, but it doesn't go anywhere. It does a great job transitioning into time it's time, but like it doesn't need that long of a, if you're going to make a little interlude, make it like a minute and a half. It'll get across the same message. Yeah. I think Chameleon Day, and then I like Give It Up because of the production, but I think he does the chorus like two or three too many times. Like that song is mainly chorus when it comes to vocals.
yes.
Even with all the cool drumming and bass lines and like guitar solo that they have in there, but like I think repetition of the chorus especially gets to me in that one, especially after you have Living in Another World before it, which just like knocks it out of the park in every single aspect. Like that should be a best track for me too, just because the freaking harmonica solo in that thing. But yeah, in terms of that though, those are my only two worst tracks. I think everything else here slaps, and I think it's grown on me more and more as you listen. I think he wanted to like, he specifically said like, I'm trying to make music that'll like still sound interesting in 10 years, which I think he's accomplished. Like it sounds 80s, but like there's so many little details and things in here that are just like I'm still finding new stuff about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best moment.
S moment. Ooh, that's tough because there's a lot of like really, really great stuff on this album. Geez. Why don't you go first?
Okay.
Let me think about it.
I kind of have two. First is the album cover because it's gorgeous. Look at that.
It's great. Yeah.
I think it's James Marsh. He does all their covers, and they're just all phenomenal. They look like the frickin' I Spy books from the late 90s, which is amazing. I think the second half of Time It's Time, like there's this drum beat that comes in and like really fleshes out that instrumental, and it just like carries it through the rest of the song, and that is absolutely gorgeous. Or it could be Living in Another World. The second half of that song is so insanely groovy, and the production is so good on that. It's like straight up danceable. So I feel like it's either of those two, but those are like incredibly high highs. Like they just knock it out of the park production wise all over the place here.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are good. I think I might just give it to the "I Don't Believe in You" like transition into the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Same old song, I don't
it is like there's the drum fills and they're like so like spacey. I don't really know how else to describe them. It seems like they're doing like the biggest drums imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
And I like really, really love the sound of that. It really like adds a real punch to it. Um, and it like perfectly backs up like the flow and meaning of the song. Like it's just really, really nice. Like I don't know. I just love that
It's
song a
just,
lot.
it's so good.
It's so good. Yeah.
Okay. Any hot takes that you have? I don't know if you have any hot takes or if you know what's a hot take or not. I feel like this is
Yeah,
a category that can be a little difficult depending on what album we do.
a little bit. I don't really have a hot take, I don't think, because I liked most of it.
Hmm.
Like, except for Chameleon Day, which is, I just don't like that
And I feel
song.
like that's
I
a
think,
normal take. So,
yeah. And
yeah.
I feel like April 5th, like, gets a pass for me.
Okay.
Like, it's not, like,
Hmm.
ruining everything. So, like, I think overall, like, it's just a pretty G-dang solid project. There's not a
Hmm.
whole lot to complain about.
Yeah. I think the only thing for me is like, I don't know if I want the children's choir on Happiness is Easy. I feel like that song is good enough where you don't need a children's choir. I don't know.
Yeah,
They don't seem that coordinated in what they're doing. And it does like sound like The Wall where they're just kind of shouting and it's not like an actual choir. It's just like random kids, which
right.
it fits in with the song in terms of the feeling he's going for, but it's like I don't know if I need to listen to the kids because they make it kind of clunky with how weird the production already is. Because the drum fills
True.
in that song are weird, and then you have kids trying to like stay on pace with that, and it doesn't really work. But
That's true.
yeah, I'm not against children's choirs and music, but I am in this song.
I am in general.
Okay,
I don't think that they really have a place. I think the one exception is The Wall
yeah,
because it's like, well, that's a song specifically about
right.
like the education
On a
system
concept album, yeah, like
on a
that's
concept
perfect.
album. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in general, it's just corny.
Hmm. You got to make it work well. A couple
Yeah.
people do it, a lot of people don't. So it's kind of like it's always an issue when it shows up on an album where it's like, okay, this is either perfectly placed or just has no reason for being here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
neat. Any final thoughts? I know you kind of gave some already, but
Yeah. I don't know if I have like a whole lot more to add. I just think like overall, I mean, I think this is a pretty good starting point. If
mhm,
it like gets like way more experimental into like the more post rocky stuff, this feels like a good introduction
yeah,
to like their style and everything. Um, I don't know. I think it's interesting because I think you recommended this on the podcast where you said, listen to It's My Life.
mhm,
And interestingly, I don't think I'd ever heard that song
okay,
before. I mean, maybe it's been in something that I've seen or
hmm,
whatever, but like I was listening to it, I'm like, this is a new song, and I was surprised because it has so many streams. Like
yeah,
I'd know it was probably a big radio hit, so I was kind of like, oh, that's weird, like that I don't know what that is. But like I think that The Color of Spring is like way better than that song, and
yeah,
I don't know what the rest of that album sounds like, but I can't
pretty
imagine it's
similar.
better than this.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very similar to It's My Life, which is a good song. That album's actually pretty solid, like in terms of like an 80s synth pop album. Like there's
Mhm.
nothing like, new or exciting about it, but it's like very, very, very passable. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think this provides like a very unique experience because like there's not a lot of albums that sound like this, just in general.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty great album. It's grown on me a ton this year. I think it can hang with the last two, but it's definitely a pillar down still. But like it should still be in conversation when this band is talked about, and this band is only really talked about by like this is kind of like your favorite artist's favorite artist. Like
Fair.
they were decently popular in their time, but I think nowadays, like in the kind of internet cult space, they're kind of this band that keeps getting brought up. But yeah, I think it's still an incredible record. It's really fun. It's when I want to like have a more punchy album to kind of just throw on the record player because the vinyl sounds incredible. But yeah, the evolution from here is insane. We'll probably do Laughing Stock. I don't know if we'll probably skip Spirit of Eden. That is very organ heavy in their post rock as they're trying to get it ready, and I know you have thoughts on organs, so we'll skip over that and we'll do Laughing Stock eventually. I feel like we can probably do like a favorite album of all time kind of swapsies eventually here, kind of bring that in. But I don't know.
Okay.
I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts because it is out there and it is experimental. But I feel like there might be a little hint of hope in that, in terms of if you would enjoy it or not.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what we got for our first one. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was a little scared. I'm like, I'm giving him 80s pop. Neither of us like 80s pop. Let's see what happens.
I think it was successful.
And it
There
worked.
was like more to it than most 80s pop songs.
Absolutely. Yeah, but that's all we got for this one. I'll be yapping a lot more when we do Laughing Stock eventually. But yeah, do you have your pick lined up for next time?
I do, but
Right.
I was going to offer it to you as a prompt
Ooh,
because I have two.
Okay.
I'm like torn.
okay.
Do we want something that's more recent but more heady and conceptual, or do we want something older that's like considered a classic?
Ooh. I haven't done a lot of older stuff in a while, so I feel like we should go kind of old, stay in this area.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to. It's another 80s album,
Okay.
so that makes it easy. But we're going to do Tracy Chapman's self-titled.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah. I have 100% I am 100% certain you're going to love this. And frankly, it might be a crime that you haven't heard this yet because
Yeah,
it
it
was
probably
like
is.
it perfectly aligns with like your like music taste in terms of like folky stuff, but also like the politics in it are like kind of genius and
Okay.
nobody was saying what she was saying like when she made that album.
Right.
So, I think we need to throw some respect on the legend and
Yes, sir.
do Tracy Chapman.
Let's do it. All right. Tracy Chapman's self-titled next. Yeah. Let us know in the comments if you like this format. If you don't, we're still going to do it, but I would like the feedback anyways. um, this is a lot easier to edit. It's a lot more bite-sized, so hopefully it's enjoyable.
And if you have any suggestions for like categories
Yes, please.
of stuff, yeah, these are kind of the ones that we thought up. You thought up. I don't think I had anything to add. But yeah, if you have more things that we should talk about, I'm all ears.
Real. Yeah.
Even though I don't read the comments.
I mean, I'll read them and I'll portray the ones to him that I would like to. We kind of have like I'm manning the main channel, he's manning the podcast channel now, so we kind of got that going on. Which we did do D'Angelo, Voodoo, and Graceland Redux on the podcast channel. If you want to listen to us talk about those and hear Edna barking. Yeah,
I'll relax.
it was a Redux. Those are ones we did on the Rolling Stone videos 4 years ago at this point. So that was kind of our trial run for this format. But yeah, I don't know if the wheel's going to come back or not. I like this kind of just like off the cuff picking albums for us to listen to. It's more of like here's an album I'm passionate about. Let's share it and talk about it more than spinning a wheel. But
Sure.
we'll see.
I do love wheels.
Maybe it'll
though.
come back a couple of times if we're a little stoned. Or if there's like a prompt you want us to do, since we're like favorite albums, swap back and forth your favorite ones, or like other categories like that, let us know. So
Yeah. I don't even know what my favorite album is off the top
you'd
of
have to
my
think
head.
about it. Yeah.
I would have to think about it for a long time. That's why I was like surprised. You're like, oh, this is my favorite album ever. Like you got that locked
I made
in?
it definitive this year because I'm like, every time I listen to it, I'm like, there's nothing better than this. Like it doesn't go away. So I'm like,
Fair enough.
that's the crown. That's the only way I can do that. So, but yeah,
Sure.
that's it. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Go visit our podcasts. We got 2 of them. He's got 2 of them. I got 1 of them.
Yeah, I do got 2 of them. We have the Boy Time podcast, which is kind of doing this same format, but just with something else.
Yeah.
Movies or games or whatever. Been on a movie kick. Although we did just do 2 albums, but
We did. But we
We're
did Gamer before
restructuring
that.
that.
So,
yes. Yes, we've done a lot of stuff over there. We've restructured that too. So we're just redoing everything.
we're streamlining.
Exactly. AKA, we're basically just doing the format that we're doing
right now.
on my other podcast.
We're all just congealing into one thing.
It's just one thing, which does make it easy for me. So
It's
I'll
yeah.
take that. But yeah, I also have another podcast called Love Da Mom with my mother, where we talk about movies and just go back and forth and pick for whatever movie we want. So our most recent one was on Dune, 1984, the
Oh
David
no.
Lynch classic.
Of course.
Um, but we've recorded the next one, which is for Legally Blonde.
Hmm.
And then after that,
I can't tell
picked-
who's picking these movies.
I know. But then after that, you'll just have to wait and see. So check it out if you want to.
Epic. Bye bye.